and we'll just make sure everyone's ready. And ready they are. So away we go. We're off to the races. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Okay, I will sort that out later. It does seem we are dropping some frames here, so I might want to restart the stream. Yeah, we definitely are dropping some frames. So if that continues on, I will be restarting the stream. I'll be keeping a close eye on that. Anyway, thanks so much to everyone for tuning on into this Afreeca world. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. He waited a while for this match. It's nice. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's aLive. This is a qualifying match, but I think I am going to have to restart the stream. Maybe try so on a different server. And, yeah, we are having a bit of lag, unfortunately. I do apologize about that. It's a bit of a pain to restart the stream and change the source. So, yes, we are dropping quite a few frames, so I imagine it's lagging a fair bit for you guys. So I am going to restart the stream quickly. Okay, so just attempting to stream on a different server there. So hopefully things should be a little bit better. I do apologize about that. Not going to pause the game or anything while just sorting that out. Afreeca World is, as far as production and everything, is a one-man show. Fortunately, I do have Falcon to help me co-cast and stuff, usually when covering, but as explained before, it is a little bit late there, so we're taking care of it. And tomorrow, I'll actually be casting with Creighton Olsen. So that'll be our first time casting together, and that'll be really, really exciting to do. I feel like I don't necessarily co-cast enough with other people, in a sense, get the experience. Looks like no frames are going through now, which is interesting. Okay, looks like we should be live still, so. Yes, we'll tool about with that more after the game. Reaper coming on in here into the base of nice, scouting everything out. Trying to make sure that the stream is indeed loading, and it is, so all should be well now, hopefully. I do apologize about the bit of lag there, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, that does happen every now and then. Adept Shade on the way. Meanwhile, these two Hellions going to drive right on by. So we've got a bit of an odd scenario in which Nice is shading across the map with this Adept and moving with a Stalker. Two Widow Mines are about to pop out, but it's a bit of a counterattack going on right now. Another Stalker, or that is actually the first Stalker, pardon me, rolls on in. However, since Nice clearly had a heads up about this coming on in, those Hellions are not accomplishing anything. Two Widow Mines did finish up for aLive, but Widow Mines not the best at chasing down Stalkers or anything, so actually a fair bit of early damage going down here between these two players. Yeah, just damage going down onto aLive right now. It's amazing how much damage one Adept and one Stalker can do unopposed. Until that Cyclone's out, that will be the case too. And oh no, aLive misrallying his Marine, as a matter of fact, so loses both of his Marines to bruise the Adept's shield, and that's it. And that's just going to start going back up again in a second here, so that is absolutely no good here for the Terran player. He's maybe going to pick off that Stalker, which would be kind of a bare minimum that he must get, but no, there's even a Warp Prism, so Nice can probably start warping in some Stalkers. That Cyclone does pick off the one Stalker. Maybe we'll get the Adept. He gets that as well. Not a chance he's going to get the Warp Prism, though, and suddenly we do see These Stalkers now going to be able to start working away on it. Just simple lift up cancels that lock on. Fortunately, there is a Liberator here for aLive, which actually has some anti-air and can chase down this Prism. But then all of a sudden we see more Stalkers warping on in, so aLive's taking a bit of a beating early on, taking a fair bit of pressure. I'd say his one saving grace this game right now is once again, Nice is committing to this tech. And, oh, he does actually get that Widowmine. A bit of a mistake there. aLive has been going for a Widowmine drop, didn't get anything done there. Probably going to go for a Hellion drop behind this, I imagine. While he's just trying to hold on versus this aggression, that Cyclone's taking a fair bit of a beating. He definitely needs to repair that if you're aLive. But, like, you need to repair that now if you're aLive, because more units are warping on in here. This time, Adepts. And that Cyclone, now it's going to start getting repaired. That may be a little bit too late here. We'll see. Hellions, though, meanwhile, in the main base, Nice getting a ton of counter damage and 11 probes so far. Even getting out in that medivac, just beautifully done. And, oh, Liberator at the natural. There we go, that Liberator across the map. And aLive, who's really committed to this attack. This attack is fantastic. This type of attack is fantastic for setting your opponent back. However, when it simply comes to straight up killing them, it is not the answer. And back at home, Nice is pretty much dead. The damage that Liberator and Hellions have got far exceeds what was done onto aLive. The damage cap for an attack like this is that it's not super high. You usually just get like 1 or 2 nice moves, and then it's all about the follow-up because you set your opponent behind, whereas this seems to be Nice's entire plan with no follow-through, so a bit rough here for him. And let's take a look. 4 more Adepts warping on in. It's going to be some Stalkers, some Adepts. But there's already tanks out for aLive, there's a Cyclone out, and it's just continuous production here for aLive, and I don't think Nice really can do anything at this point. He's bringing his Stalkers that were warped in at home to defend across the map, but getting onto Marines supported by a Medivac, getting onto tanks and everything, it's not going to happen. Cyclone locks onto the Prism. If that Prism goes down, it's going to be absolutely catastrophic. Fortunately for Nice, it does not, so he can begin microing these Stalkers, but they're already bruised as well, and the Prism is also very bruised, so he's got to be so careful. And just, as far as feelings go, this is not a good feeling here for the Protoss player, as he's got it going in. He's got like 7 Adepts, which might be enough to get something done. The tanks are going to start firing away on this. Shooting the Stalkers is a good idea, and those Stalkers are in the red since they've been microed so much, so a few of them are going down already. There's a ton of Marines here, and these are unupgraded Adepts, so I don't think it's just not going to fly here. And as a result, I think aLive's going to be taking the first map here, probably looking to give himself a lead in this series. I mean, Nice can try and tech up behind this, but he's down on workers. aLive has a 3rd CC, and yeah, it's just looking a lot better here for aLive. And then to make matters worse, there recently was a patch which is going to allow aLive to counterattack quicker because he's going to get stim quicker. And just this game plan for aLive, it doesn't seem to pan out in the long run. He's now thrown up a Twilight Council and a ton of gateways, but he is already so far behind. He's going to need really a miracle of some sort. These Adepts could have maybe shaded in, but not worth it, I don't think. And actually, aLive, as this is going on, going for a Marine counterattack. So a 3rd base on the way for Nice. But it's just not happening. Look at this, by the way. Cool queue up for aLive. He's basically queued this Medivac up, so it goes, checks for a 3rd, and then, in case he wasn't paying attention, and then goes around, just to get that information. So really cool play there. A Dark Shrine is on the way for Nice. Might be a little bit too late, though. There's 1 Stalker and 1 Zealot being warped on in to deal with this drop here. But no, that's just too much. aLive takes the first match in this series. So GG gets called there. All right. Just curious, I'm actually not seeing where you change the color in OBS anymore. So the next map's going to be Bird, and by that, of course, Thunderbird. And we'll hop right on into that as soon as we can. No, I am curious. Hold on a sec here. Can you not actually change the text color? See where you can select the font, but not the color anymore. Oh, okay, you scroll down. Oh god, it's late, guys. It's late, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll get everyone on into the game, then we'll load on into it as soon as we can. Well, at least now I know how to do that, fortunately. I just scroll down to where you select your font. And voila, just like that. aLive versus Nice is the right color. There is no more dropped frames, thankfully, which is very good to see. Ignore that. Just fixing that color here. That is not the match. Okay, looks like everyone's ready, so we're going to load on in, though. Just kind of fixing things as I go along. I wasn't really prepared just to be solo casting, but it did run late, so it's definitely best for Falcon to get some sleep before he has a work day. The bosses might not buy... why were you up late? Why are you asleep at your desk or whatever? As yeah, the bosses might not buy why are you asleep at your desk or whatever. As StarCraft, all awesome. Not the best excuse for that. Anyway, here we are loading on into the next game. This best of 3 is continuing on. aLive taking the first map as the favorite, kind of to be expected, in the bottom right hand side of the map and in the top left hand side of the map. It is Nice. So we could potentially have 2 Terrans making it through this qualifier, which would make it a Terran-heavy tournament, which would be kind of exciting as a Terran player myself. However, I do enjoy watching all the matchups, but I'd rather have a bunch of Terrans than a bunch of Zergs, to be honest, because I do prefer TvT to say ZVZ. You watch WCS Europe, and apparently even GSL versus the world, you're going to get a lot of ZVZ. Who'd have thought that one? All right, Nice going for Probe Scout here. Okay, let's just see Probe moving across the map. Interestingly enough, just a Marine coming out of aLive here. So not opting for the Reaper. Followed up by a quick Tech Lab. Oh, is this going to be a quick stim or something? I dig it. I dig if this is just like a very quick stim timing. Let's see. Ooh, a Marauder on the way. No upgrade or anything. A factory and then a Marauder. Weird play. I guess maybe the factory before the upgrade. Is it a concussive shell play? No concussive shell. No stim just yet, but he's going to need more gas for that. Oh, okay. Alright, so that was a bit of a fake out. Just a Marauder and a Marine. A very, like, I don't know what this is, but this is a weird opening coming out of aLive. Yeah, very, very weird opening coming out of aLive. And, yeah, let's take a look here. Command Center, finishing up. But then, yeah, so bizarre. He's just going to float this, go for probably like a quick Cyclone or something. So that's not out of the ordinary. But the fact that he just made a Marine, a Marauder for safety, and then went right on into this factory, kind of cool. Very notable, I suppose. And then, yeah, let's see. 2 Adepts out. Oracle on the way. And then just making Marines and a Cyclone. So since he skipped the Reaper, he'll have this production up a little bit earlier. So he's actually going to have a pretty good response to the early Oracle, I feel. Oracle is also staying back in case of early aggression, when really there's none of that coming out of aLive just yet. Closest thing probably going to be the Liberator, as a matter of fact, and that is very good at harassment, but not necessarily something that you can completely prepare for as a Protoss. I mean, it seems kind of random because Liberator harassment is good all the time, and it's tough to know exactly how to defend something like that because the Liberators can come in at any time. For now, we have the one Phoenix out, which is going to be nice for dealing with this if it is eventual harassment for aLive. As far as like aggression or anything comes out of aLive, though, nothing too major because this is simply a quick third command center build, which is great to see once again. A quick third CC in TvP. I wish we'd see more of this in big tournaments like GSL or anything like that. And oh, look at this. Yeah, nice scout from the Phoenix at least, being able to spot that there's a Liberator out on the map. Immediately another Phoenix starts, probably just to have one covering each location, because you know eventually that Liberator is going to cross the map. And if I'm aLive, you might want to keep that back at home for a bit, because you're like, alright, Liberator's been spotted. Not going to serve much of a purpose. Let's take a look. Stim on the way now for aLive. 2 CCs. And then, yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. Just powering up. No wall is notable. No tanks is actually very notable. Like, aLive is playing super blind right now, for those of you wondering. I guess he saw the Stargate and maybe expected no super aggression or anything like that. But the fact, like, if Knives was 2-basing or something, aLive has been playing 100% blind. But if Knives was 2-basing or something, aLive would just be dead. But he's confident that's not the case, apparently, just after seeing that Stargate. Or I don't know if aLive's just flipping that coin, basically saying, right, if this aggression goes, or if this greed goes unpunished, they pretty much win the game. And, I mean, it's going to set him up in a fantastic position to win this game, make no mistake. Double upgrades, a Twilight Council, and Robo going to be finishing up here for Nice, or starting up for Nice. And this is interesting, but it's kind of concerning because there's going to be stimmed bio out pretty darn soon. And the Robo's just starting. He's behind on the upgrades. And this is simply just because of the more aggressive build coming out of the Terran. There is no missile turret in the main base or anything, but look at this. Cyclone's lock on. Going to potentially pick off one of the Oracles. Gets the Oracle. Very nicely done. Even loses another Phoenix trying to save it. And just beautifully done by aLive. Just works out great for him. He doesn't have a turret in the main base, which he could maybe do with adding on. Also going to want to start his combat shield as soon as I say that. He does so. So maybe a turret in the main base for aLive, and then he's pretty much just good to push out whenever he feels. The medivacs have been spotted, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that the Protoss can do about it. Doesn't even finish off that one Cyclone. There we go. Does have to go for another lift before picking it off, and now we are seeing a Colossus on the way. No extended thermal lance starting just yet. Nice should be panicking right now. We should be seeing shield batteries. He does have sentries at the top of a ramp to hold on, but this is still going to be a very scary Terran coming his way. Now, if Nice can hold on, he could be sitting pretty, because generally the game, the later it goes, the more it favors the Protoss. But for now, he's got to be prepared to deal with this. Going for a stasis at the top of the ramp. aLive maybe looking to push on in. Got to be very wary of those stasis wards. Looks like the Cyclone might take one for the team so far. The force field's always threatening. We are seeing Liberator harassment in the main base, though. The Phoenix have to come back to help try and deal with this, and 5 probes is already worth the price for a Liberator. aLive is going to have to end up retreating, but he's still a very, very happy Terran right now. Got to be careful to avoid that stasis. Just one Marauder gets caught. And wait a second, does that actually give vision up the ramp? Yeah, it actually does. That's kind of cool to note. A Marauder in stasis, or any unit in stasis, I guess, does give vision. So, oh man, and those Widowmines getting some very nice hits there for aLive, and now maybe he's thinking of charging on in. A unit in stasis does give vision. Kind of cool, that fact. As now aLive can't see up that ramp. But it was basically like a scout that nothing could be done about. Now we are seeing aLive, though, go for a drop onto his opponent. Widowmine's going to go off, focuses the Oracle, and picks that off. Beautifully done. 2 Liberators coming on in for aLive. Going to be absolutely amazing because there's no blink. And this is just going to be a Protoss pinned on in, and this location is actually a very critical Liberator spot in StarCraft 2. Thunderbird basically it's so tough to break this location. Going down a ramp is just as hard when there's a Terran with stim bio waiting for you at the bottom. So aLive may be able to sort of inch his way in here. We'll see if the Protoss is able to do anything about this, but I'm not too sure. A 4th CC is on location for aLive because he knows he has his opponent a little bit pinned. aLive, though, is being forced back. These Zealots spill down this ramp in great number, although the Widowmine's getting fantastic connections off on him. So a pricey breakout here for the Protoss player, and all of a sudden aLive stimming forward with Marauders, realizing that he may be able to get some trades going off. The Phoenix are busy tied up with the Marines, so the fact that the Marines weren't diving forward or really helping either was able to allow Nice to keep going forward, but he did end up losing 2 of his Colossus there, which is absolutely massive. If he had maybe just lost 1, it would have been acceptable, but losing 2 Colossus really hurts. He's got High Templar on the way, but no Psystorm started just yet, and maybe Nice wants to go for a push. He does have a Warp Prism, but just with 1 Colossus, it's not really enough. aLive, he's getting his production online. His 4th command center is going to be absolutely critical. Once he gets that to a planetary, he is going to be a rock. Also scans to pick off the observer. Nice realized that and planned to move it, but no, just saying, all right, that's the way this game is going to go. Nice throws up a 4th base. Basically, literally just being like, all right, I can't kill you. This game's going to go later. This is my best option. He's going to tech on into Psystorm most likely. I think that would be a very, very smart move from the Terran or from the Protoss. Psystorm's kind of a must, because once there's enough Vikings to pick off your Colossus, you will just die. All things considered, though, army supply is still ahead for the Protoss. He's invested in these Archons, a good number of Zealots, and the 3 Colossus. We do need to see some sort of alternate form of AoE, though, because I think it's got to be Disruptors, because there's 5 Ghosts out at a time for aLive, which is actually insane. I don't... like, Ghosts are very, very expensive units, ladies and gentlemen. I believe they're... I honestly don't know the price. I know that their gas cost was adjusted. Maybe their mineral cost reduced, which made them a lot more doable for Terran, but it's still very concerning. And now we are seeing aLive being pushed back by this Protoss army. He's retreating, he's got a 4th base. He does have Ghosts finished up, though. He's getting that advanced Shockwave for... enhanced, not advanced Shockwave, pardon me. First time saying that new upgrade, so it's a little bit concerning here for the Protoss player. EMPs just get blanketed everywhere, though. aLive simply does not care, but this is a lot of Protoss here. This is pretty much an all-in coming out of Nice right now. The Vikings are going to slaughter the Colossus, and once those are gone, it's going to be a little bit concerning. Although slaughter the Colossus, they did not. One of them still alive, and all the Vikings are gone. Another big warp in his Zealots is really going to help out the Protoss. aLive has a ton of money in the bank right now. However, he simply doesn't have the production. His bio is overstimmed right now, so that 1 Colossus can be very threatening. He's actually stepping forward to engage this army, just trying to micro as well as he can, but he really needs to pull back and minimize damage, I feel, for the time being. The 4th base is pretty much unbreachable, but if aLive, or if Nice can still just compromise the production of his opponent, that's all it's going to take in this game. 4 Vikings about to pop out, though. Once that 1 Colossus is gone, that's where this becomes very, very tough for the Protoss, and 4 Vikings probably enough to see to this 1 Colossus before they go down. Yeah, and down goes aLive. Fantastic EMPs on the Stalkers. Those already brittle units just going to get picked off. Disruption Nova goes out, but good dodge by the Terran player. And now let's take a look. aLive, he did lose his natural. He lost a fair few workers. However, he's still got good Viking production. He's got Ghosts with advanced Shockwave, which are just going to absolutely annihilate the Protoss army. The Disruptor really has got to be the saving grace of the Protoss here. Although, as I say that, 2 more Colossus wander forward. Okay, let's take a look. Disruptor on the way here. aLive's just sort of sitting idle with his army at the moment. That's a bit of a mistake there. EMPs do go down on the Protoss army. Gonna have to split to dodge that Disruptor. Does an okay job. The Vikings working away in the Colossus once again, although maybe not quick enough. The bio is starting to melt. This has been such a close situation for so long. 1 of the Colossus still alive. The Archon almost dead. aLive really can't pursue. He's now making 4 Medivacs because his bio keeps getting overstimmed, and these 2 Medivacs are completely drained here. And bio is still in the red, so cutting out the Colossus, or cutting out the Vikings for now. We do see +3 is on the way for aLive, though he managed to squeeze that out. He's starting a new base, or he actually floated... I guess he actually just completed a base over there. As yeah, he lost his natural. He didn't replace it, though, so just wanting a fresh base. 2 Marauders going to be moving out, interestingly enough. Anything else going with them? No, looks like it's just 2 Marauders. Okay, they're actually misrallied. They were supposed to be in these 2 Medivacs, so aLive getting a bit of a counter push on in. This could be heading towards base trade territory right now. They say never base trade a Terran, but if aLive can't, or if Nice can deal with this one drop, Nice is kind of just giving up this position as a result, so that could be very good for him. Disruptor gets pretty solid connections. There are multiple Marauders going down. Looks like this drop is still going, though. I mean, the Zealots kind of funneled on in towards those units, so not quite up to the task of cleaning it up. Nice going to warp in more. He really doesn't want to have to bring back his whole army, as that would just be catastrophic. That would be such a huge distraction and pull him really out of position. For now, though, the drop continuing on here for aLive, but I'm not too sure about his position here. I mean, there's Disruptors, there's a pretty strong Protoss army. I don't know if the Terran army is strong enough. Getting the Warp Prism would be a great start for aLive here. A recall actually goes down, a partial recall. And take a look at this. aLive has actually spotted this. He's just got to deal with this one Disruptor, and he does get it. And now he can really just slaughter these Stalkers. They're going to have to blink over those minerals there. Not all of them make it, so a pretty big army loss there. And that's all because that one drop got so much damage done for aLive. Nicely controlled there. And suddenly, this game is in a weird situation right now. aLive finally given some time to breathe. It's tough to say who has the better army. There's a Disruptor, there's a Colossus, 2 more Disruptors on the way for the Protoss, so it's kind of good. This fight can really go both extreme ways. If there's good Disruptor connections, aLive will just die, but otherwise I'm not too sure. EMPs should be going down in this army, but EMPs don't cancel Disruption Novas, in case some of you were wondering. They do make them weaker, though, easier to focus fire. Just a few Marauder shots pick them all off. Zealots spilling forward. Stalkers doing the best they can, working away in the Medivacs, actually, to weaken this army. More Zealots have been warped on in to push this bio back. It's looking so close here. aLive, I mean, he's stimming forward right now. The Archon falls. It's really just Stalkers in the one Disruptor. There's the Nova out. Does he get it in time? Yes, he does. The Stalkers, though, in smaller unit numbers can trade out, but they are just starting to fall, and they're really backed into a corner here. The Pylon gets depowered, and that is a massive warp and denied, but aLive is still wearing thin here. In small numbers, the Gateway units do okay. The Zealots, alright, versus the bio. Suddenly, aLive not able to kill his opponent just yet, and so Nice staying alive in this game. What a crazy PvZ here. Taking a look here, Disruption Nova's going on out, but Disruptors haven't really got anything done this game. It's mainly been snipes. aLive has done a fantastic job. Sometimes we just see Disruptors get immense value, but not this game. Nice, he has just been a little bit mistimed with them, maybe not being careful enough or something like that. And of course the dodges of aLive, the focus fire really has been impeccable. More Archons warping in, probably because they're a little bit sturdier here. That's a good use of gas for the Protoss, but he doesn't really have anything else going for him. Archons, though, very tanky versus the mass Marauders of aLive. Although once a few more ghosts, once another ghost or two is out, it's going to become very tough for the Protoss. Nice is trying to pursue right now. He's got these Stalkers. They do alright in small numbers, but Archon's starting to get focus fired down. The trading, though, I think is alright for Nice. He's just picking off these Marauders. Maybe should snipe down 1 or 2 of those injured Medivacs if he can. Doesn't go for that, though, and he is losing his Stalkers, which is going to start hurting. Now he goes for some of the Medivacs, gets one. There's another injured one that he can maybe get. You really want to pick those off as high or low health. Medivacs still heal the army. It's like Nice is going to be warping in more Archons, more Zealots, maybe going to be going towards the main. The third base was actually killed. It's important to remember that. But economy-wise, it is much better for aLive since he did secure this more northern base. Nice not maybe realizing that's still a thing. Looks like aLive also got a CC at his natural now. Don't know if maybe that was the third that he floated over. The main, actually, that was probably the main base that he floated to his natural. Looks like a bit of Zealot harassment going to be going down, trying to deny this third base, but economically, it doesn't look too good for the Protoss player. As I say that, though, looking to shut down the Terran's economy, scouting this base, very important. Getting himself 7 Zealot kills. That Zealot did die surrounded by SCVs. He did, however, die a hero. Warp Prism gets sniped off. The Zealot simply just being recalled to stay alive. And now we're going to be seeing, once again, it's going to have to be a hold here for Nice. But, I mean, he does have Colossus in his army now, and there's only 2 Vikings. EMP potentially going to land on this army. It looks like it will. Gets a very nice shot. Doesn't take all the health off the Archons, but does take a fair bit. Marauders running forward. One of the Colossus immediately dies, and yeah, there's just not enough of a buffer. It looks like aLive will take the 2